Welcome. You're listening to John Hyman from Commercial Real Estate Online. This is one of the many training videos that we put out for brokers and agents, that is, brokers and agents working in commercial real estate around the world. And if this is the first time that you're visiting us, you can get plenty of free tips, tools and ideas at our website, which happens to be commercial-realestate-training.com. Anyway, in this particular video, I want to talk about the real estate marketing campaign as it applies to commercial real estate most particularly. Certainly in today's market, taking a commercial or a retail property to the market, to the buyers and the tenants that are out there, is quite a specific process. Any quality listing will require comprehensive marketing, that is a campaign that's well prepared for public release across all the media outlets that are to be used, given the amounts of money that you're getting from the vendor as part of the marketing campaign. So let's have a look at some of these issues. And firstly, this one, care and planning. Care and planning is certainly required on the part of the real estate agent or broker to get things going. The first 6 weeks of any particular campaign are the most important, and during that time you have to reach out to the target audience of tenants or buyers, and obviously tapping into their interest regards the property type and the improvements. That can be a complex issue, of course, and it's very easy today for a property to be swallowed up into the generic marketing funnel of other local property listings. So a good property must stand out, and that is the critical fact today. You need to attract the interest from the target audience, and a good property must stand out. If you're going to list a good property, of course, that should be done exclusively. I go back to the point that the first 6 weeks of the campaign are absolutely critical to getting results. After that time, the listing is likely to become quite stale. So let's go on a little bit further. Standing out in a property promotion. So, a good property does have to stand out and attract the interests of buyers and tenants. That's what a top agent can do. So consider these questions. Number one, what makes your property so special? Have a good look through the property to understand the elements that will be attracting buyers and tenants to it. Understand the factors of the property that will get those people in the door and inspecting. Of course, a good property will always attract people quite quickly, but an ordinary property, it's a bit more of a challenge. So what makes your property so special? Understand that fact. Next, what will be the target market, the target audience? And that could be, let's say, an office type tenant. It could be a person looking to buy an office property. It could be industrial. It could be warehousing. It could be a showroom warehouse. It could be bulky goods. There's all sorts of different alternatives in the target market. And of course, you need to understand where that target market is in your local area. It's a factor of positioning the property before you release the marketing campaign out to the local area, to the property investors, the tenants and the business owners. So the next question, number 3, how will you reach that target audience, most particularly in a comprehensive way? Don't just say you're going to connect with a certain target audience and go about it generically. Figure out how you're going to do it very specifically and ask the vendor of the property, the owner of the property, for funds to do that. Of course, with any quality listing, any exclusive listing, it is the rule that you should be getting vendor-paid marketing funds up front as part of the property promotion, as part of the marketing campaign. So let's have a look at number 4. How much time and money do you have for the process? Now, it depends on the method of sale or the method of lease perhaps, but generally speaking, you've probably only got 6 or 8 weeks to get a result. After that time, the listing becomes a bit stale. So there's your time factor, and of course you'll balance that within the methods of sale or lease that apply. So how much money do you have to promote the property? That needs to be thought through, because you need to set the property promotion for the target audience, and obviously you need to time the campaign so you get the maximum impact and attract people to inspect the property. There is an equation to it, and you need to work out what that equation is to get the right people to phone you and, of course, arrange for inspections. Of course, when they make contact with you, you do need to qualify them and make sure that they are the right people to take to the property. Don't waste your time on people that can't afford it or indeed are the wrong types of people for that property. So number 5. What is the ideal outcome for your clients? Now, again, it's an interesting question. It could be that they have to get a result within a certain period of time. Maybe they need a certain type of lease. Maybe they need a certain type of price. Maybe they need some results due to the pressures of their financier. You need to know what the ideal outcome is for those clients, and then, of course, you have to set about achieving that through a good marketing campaign. So that's the strategic side of things. I go back to the points there, and let's go back to the main summary point. What makes the property so special? What will be the target market? And of course that could be local or it could be regional, and you need to understand where that market is. How will you reach out to that target audience? It's a strategy. Make it very special, and of course get vendor paid marketing funds for that. Here on item number 4, how much time and money do you have for the process? Your campaign will be built around those two facts. And lastly, what is the ideal outcome for your clients today? How can you improve that? How can you fast track the results that they require? So let's go to number 3. Rolling out the campaign. So let's look at some things to help you roll out that marketing campaign for a quality listing to get the results that the client requires. Firstly, is the property ready? Understand the weaknesses in the property and how you will work through them. The weaknesses may need addressing prior to your commencing of marketing. You don't need any hurdles when it comes to inspecting and taking people to the property, so remove the weaknesses before you do anything else, before you release that property to the market. Number 2, what are the strengths? The strengths in the property will give you something to work with when it comes to the selling features, the advertising copy, the target market and the editorials. Figure out what the strengths are and work to them as part of building the advertising copy. Number 3, do your research on the surrounding properties. Understand the rents, the prices and the competing listings. Get the facts of the market ready for any negotiation, inspection or property presentation. Get all those facts around you because you will need them. You'll have some very challenging buyers and tenants to match to the property, and indeed you need to have market information, local market information, to prepare for that negotiation. Number 4, what will be the targeted buyers or tenants that you need to get into? How will you qualify them before you take them to the property? Maybe you have certain criteria that you need to go through over the telephone and as part of a meeting before you take them to the property or tell them too much about it. And indeed, it should be said that you should qualify them to the extent of making sure they have the necessary funds and that the property suits them entirely for what they need. And of course, you may need a confidentiality agreement signed before you take them to the property. Some facts and information regards an investment property may be sensitive, and of course you can't release that to anyone. You need to have that confidentiality agreement signed in many respects. Number 5, the inspection strategy. So get the inspection strategy sorted with the property and with the client. Now that will be the way that you should take people to and through the property. Understand where the features are and how you should move through the property as part of showing the features and the improvements to the tenants or the buyers, as the case may be, depending on what your campaign may be doing. Number 6, have all of your information ready. That is, the information memorandums and the property information. That should be ready for distribution to qualified and interested parties before you release the marketing to the media. There's nothing worse than having inquiries coming in, inspections being created, and of course you don't have the necessary property information at your fingertips. That is, of course, an error and can create problems for you through the campaign. So get your information ready before the campaign is released to the public. Number 7, signage. Now, signage for the property should be ready and in place. Hopefully you will have a special sign created for the featured listing, and that will be part of vendor paid marketing funds. So get the right signage on the property, make sure it's of the right design and it gets the right inquiry coming back to you. Make it simple for people to find you, and also the sign should be of the type that attracts inquiry back to you. Number 8, website listings and selected industry portals should be considered, of course. Don't repeat the advert for the property across all the sites. Use different words and messages so that you are exposing the property to the search engines in a comprehensive way. That says that you will need to get the right keywords designed for the property, given the local market conditions, the location, the property types, the improvements. Understand what people are putting into the search engines to look for property today. And of course, from that you can make sure that your adverts for your property are suitably shaped. Number 9. Now, the print media will be of some use, albeit somewhat limited. You will get better mileage, of course, from the online type of promotion and the database marketing with most of your properties today. However, some newspaper advertisements are useful in some campaigns. Of course, they're very expensive, the newspaper adverts, and they have a limited shelf life. So it's a balance between online and offline type of media usage. Number 10. Now, brochure distribution. You should have your brochures ready for distribution directly via the email and through the mail system. They would normally be sent on the day of or the day before the marketing release. So those brochures should be proofed, printed and ready to go out. And indeed, you could have a covering letter with those brochures to the people within your database. And it should be said that any brochure that you send out to someone within your database should be followed up as part of a comprehensive campaign, a marketing campaign coverage. Number 11. Now, the team response to the marketing campaign should be considered, and certainly it should be set up for the larger properties and the quality properties. Those types of good investments will create a lot of interest. Some properties require a team to take the inquiries from all parties. The telephone will just run hot when the property is released to the market, so you'll need a number of people to work as a team to capture the inquiry. When that happens, make sure that all the inquiries are centralised for follow-up within the team. You don't want a genuine inquiry to get lost in the system. Everyone needs to work to the same message, the same tune, and channel back the information to the right person so that the client knows exactly what's going on as part of the marketing campaign. Number 12, the last point, the database, and of course online marketing. Now, the database and online marketing will include your newsletter, your website, your blogs, emails, social media and an established client list. It is likely that your property buyer or tenant is somewhere in your database already. It's just a matter of finding them and making sure they know about the property listing. All of your brokers and agents should also be working on their databases of contacts to ensure that they can tap into the right people in case they can get an inspection or generate interest for you as part of getting that property sold or leased. So there you go. They are the elements that apply to a real estate marketing campaign. Number 1, care and planning. Number 2, make sure your property stands out. Number 3, the rollout strategy for the campaign. So this is a short video just covering those issues to help you with the strategies behind a commercial real estate marketing package, perhaps a retail property and also an industrial property. Understand what you're doing when it comes to marketing and get a real strategy behind the process. Help the client understand what you can do for them as part of attracting the right inquiry from buyers or tenants, as the case may be. So that's the end of this video. My name's John Hyman. You can get a lot more from us at our website, which is commercial-realestate-training.com. And indeed, if you're a broker or an agent in commercial real estate today, you'll get plenty of tips and ideas from that website, commercial-realestate-training.com. As I said, my name's John Hyman. Thanks for listening to the video, and we'll catch you next time on another video quite soon.